Welcome to the deep dive from Mind Expansion Daily. We're your guides today as we journey into, well, one of the most awe-inspiring corners of the natural world.
Absolutely. Today's topic is genuinely fascinating.
We're plunging into the world of pitcher plants,
Mhm.
these carnivorous marvels that somehow manage to thrive where you'd think almost nothing
It
could.
really challenges our idea of what a plant can be.
Exactly. How does life find a way in these incredibly nutrient-poor, really challenging environments? That's the mystery we're hoping to unravel a bit today.
It's a story of incredible adaptation.
Before we really get into their deadly beauty and resilience, just a reminder to check out mindexpansiondaily.com for more deep dives like this one.
Lots of great stuff there.
And if you like what you hear, please do hit that like button and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. It really helps us build our global community exploring these wonders.
Yep, helps us keep these conversations going.
And speaking of support, if you feel like this content is valuable, maybe consider buying us a coffee. The link's right there in the description. Every little bit helps us keep exploring.
We definitely appreciate it.
Now, a quick question for all of you listening. What's your absolute favorite plant? Let us know in the comments.
Oh, good question. I'm curious to see the answers.
Tell us if you agree or disagree with our take today, and maybe, most importantly, tell us where you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our community reaches.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the global spread.
Okay, so pitcher plants. You mentioned they're captivating. Why is that? What makes them stand out so much?
Well, it's that predatory nature, isn't it? Plants that eat animals, it flips the script. But beyond that, it's their sheer ingenuity, the stunning adaptations they have.
Right.
And they're not super rare oddities either. There are over 150 species, and they dominate these specific, really tough environments like bogs and swamps worldwide.
Wow, over 150.
And it's not just scientists like us geeking out. Google Trends data, as of earlier this month, shows something like 1.2 million searches a year for carnivorous plants. People are fascinated.
That's a huge number.
It is.
Yeah.
So today, we really want to get into their unique adaptations, figure out their role in the ecosystem, and just explore why they're such botanical superstars.
Okay, let's unpack that core challenge then. These plants thrive, they actually dominate in places like bogs, fens, swamps, super difficult spots, right?
Extremely difficult. Nutrient poor is an understatement.
So how do they pull it off? What's their ingenious solution to getting things like nitrogen and phosphorus when the soil basically has none?
It really is a testament to evolution.
Mm.
The science backs this up. A recent study in the Botanical Journal noted something like 90% of pitcher plant species grow in soils with less than 0.1% nitrogen.
Less than 0.1%. That's incredibly low.
It's minuscule. For comparison, healthy fertile soil might have 20 times that amount.
Mhm.
So this extreme lack of nutrients, it wasn't a dead end for them. It actually drove the evolution of carnivory.
They turned a problem into their main strategy.
Exactly. They essentially bypass the soil for key nutrients. Analyses show they get up to 70%, 70 of their nitrogen directly from the prey they catch.
70% from bugs. That's astonishing. But building these traps, these pitchers, they look complex. That must cost a lot of energy, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's a really critical point. It's a big energy investment. Studies suggest trap production can eat up maybe 15 to 20% of the plant's total energy budget.
15 to 20% is significant.
It is. But the fact that they thrive shows the payoff from that carnivorous diet is huge. It clearly outweighs the cost. And remember, it's not just about nutrients.
Right. What else are they dealing with?
Well, often low sunlight, especially in dense bogs. Highly acidic conditions, the pH can be down around 3 to 5, like vinegar.
Oof.
And temperature swings, too, sometimes dipping close to freezing, around 5 degrees Celsius, or even lower in some habitats.
So it's a whole suite of challenges.
It really is.
Yeah.
And tackling all that by eating insects, it's genius. There was a great post on X recently. Basically it said, pitcher plants eat bugs to survive swamp's nature's genius. Captures it perfectly.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool for me. The traps themselves. You see photos, especially of the nepenthes from Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
These vibrant urn-shaped things. They almost look inviting. How do they lure prey in?
It's a masterclass in deception, often quite beautiful, too. Many species produce these sweet, nectar-like secretions right around the rim of the pitcher.
Like a little treat.
Exactly. It contains sugar, maybe only about 0.5% according to one study, but it's enough to attract insects. Then once the insect lands, the mechanics kick in.
Okay, what happens?
The rims, especially on many nepenthes, are coated with this incredibly slippery wax. Think trying to walk on ice covered in oil.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? Research shows that the slipperiness causes about 80% of insects that land there to just lose their footing and tumble right in.
80%. That's
Yeah,
efficient.
highly efficient. But that's just one strategy. Look at the North American Sarracenia species. They use a different approach.
How did they
Their pitchers are more tubular, and the inside is lined with these tiny downward-pointing hairs. It basically creates one-way street. Once you're in, you can't climb back out against the grain.
like microscopic spikes pointing down?
Kind of, yeah.
Hmm.
And studies on Sarracenia show this design can be even more effective, trapping up to 90% of the prey that enters.
Wow. So different designs for different folks or different species, I guess. Are there even more specialized tricks?
Oh, definitely. The diversity is amazing. Some Nepenthes, for instance, have evolved these lids that aren't just rain covers. They can actually snap shut quickly, almost like a trap jaw, to help capture larger or stronger insects.
Ooh, a snap trap.
Yeah. And others use visual lures. Sarracenia purpurea, the purple pitcher plant, has these bright red veins on its pitchers. They mimic the look of flowers.
Clever. Does it work?
Apparently, yes. Research suggests this mimicry attracts about 70% more flies compared to the greener pitcher types. It's this incredible mix of coevolution and, well, deception.
Like a botanical horror movie for insects, as someone said.
Exactly. I saw that time-lapse video you mentioned, the one on X, showing the fly falling in. It got thousands of likes because it really visualizes that inescapable process. This variety in trap design, tailored to specific habitats and prey, is key to their global success.
Okay, so the insect falls in, bad day for the bug. What happens next? How does the plant actually, eat it?
Right, it's not just holding them prisoner. Once trapped, the plant starts secreting digestive enzymes into the fluid at the bottom of the pitcher.
What kind of enzymes?
Primarily things like proteases, which break down proteins, the main building blocks of the insect body, and chitinases.
Chitinase.
Yeah.
For the exoskeleton.
Exactly, for that tough chitin shell insects have. This enzyme cocktail breaks the insect down into a kind of nutrient soup.
How long does that take?
It's pretty quick, actually, usually within about 2 to 5 days, according to studies. This rapid breakdown is vital in those poor soils. They need the nutrients fast.
And they absorb it efficiently.
Extremely. Research in plant physiology show that about 85% of the nitrogen absorbed from this soup goes directly into the plant's growth. Very little is wasted.
That's impressive. Do they only catch small stuff, or can they handle bigger prey?
Oh, they can definitely go bigger. The famous one is Nepenthes raja from Borneo. It's known to trap and digest things as large as small frogs, even occasionally small rodents, though that's rarer.
Frogs. Wow. That must provide a lot more nutrients.
Absolutely. Reports suggest these larger meals can yield up to 10 times the nutrients compared to your average insect.
And the digestive fluid itself must be pretty potent.
Incredibly potent. The pH inside the pitcher is usually between 2 and 3. That's really acidic, basically comparable to human stomach acid.
Okay, so it really dissolves things.
It does. Studies show it can dissolve about 95% of the prey's biomass. This whole process, rapid, thorough digestion, gives them a massive edge. One ecology study found it contributes to 60% higher survival rates for pitcher plants in bogs compared to non-carnivorous plants sharing the same space.
60% higher survival. That's huge.
It really is. No wonder that Expo said they turn bugs into soup in days. Sounds wild, but it's accurate.
Okay, here's something I find really fascinating. They're not always just lone predators, right? Sometimes they actually team up with insects. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it highlights just how complex these ecosystems are.
Mhm.
These symbiotic relationships are quite remarkable.
Can you give an example?
Sure. A classic one is Nepenthes bicalcarata. It has these hollow tendrils where a specific type of ant, Camponotus ants, actually lives.
Inside the pitcher plant?
Inside parts of the plant structure, yeah. And these ants act like little housekeepers. They swim in the pitcher fluid, remove excessive prey, prevent mold, and even attack potential herbivores trying to eat the plant.
Okay, so the ants get protection. What does the plant get?
Nitrogen. The ants deposit their waste, which is rich in nitrogen, directly benefiting the plant. Studies, like one in Oekologia, showed this partnership can boost the plant's growth by about 15%.
15% boost just from having ant roommates? That's amazing. Any others?
Yep. Another example is Sarracenia minor. It often partners with spiders. Spiders will build webs near or sometimes even inside the pitcher opening,
To catch things before they fall in.
or catch things trying to escape, or just use the pitcher as a hunting ground. They catch prey, eat some, and the leftover scraps fall into the pitcher, providing extra nutrients for the plant, maybe around 10% of its needs in some cases.
So it's a real win-win. How common are these kinds of deals?
They're actually surprisingly widespread. Estimates suggest maybe 40% of pitcher plant species rely on some form of symbiotic relationship like these to thrive. It's a brilliant strategy, turning potential prey or pests into allies.
Right. Like that X-Post said, ants and pitcher plants team up nature's ultimate collab.
Exactly. It captures that collaborative spirit perfectly.
So beyond catching bugs and making friends with ants, what other clever survival tricks do these plants have? It sounds like they're also good at manipulating their own little microenvironments.
They absolutely are. They're masters of managing their immediate surroundings.
Mm.
Take Sericinia purpurea again. It actually collects rainwater in its pitchers, but it can also actively secrete water to maintain a certain fluid level.
Why do that?
It keeps the trap environment humid and ensures there's always digestive fluid. Research suggests this can increase their capture rate by about 20%, especially during dry spells. They essentially create their own perfect little death pool.
Huh. Okay, what else?
Well, think about Nepenthes ampullaria. It often grows low to the ground, almost like a carpet in some areas. Its pitchers are shaped differently, more like little open cups facing upwards.
Not for catching insects, then.
Not primarily. They're adapted to collect falling leaves and other organic debris from the forest floor. This plant compost can provide up to 30% of its nutrients.
So it's supplementing its diet with leaf litter.
Precisely. It's crucial in shady forest understories where light for photosynthesis might be limited, sometimes 50% less sunlight than open areas, and maybe insect prey isn't as abundant.
Smart. What about handling the cold? You mentioned some live in places that freeze.
Right, another layer of toughness.
Yeah.
Many Sericinia species in North America have to endure freezing winters. They survive by producing compounds that act like antifreeze within their cells.
Like car antifreeze.
Similar principle, yeah. It lowers the freezing point of the water inside their tissues, preventing ice crystals from forming and damaging the cells. This allows them to overwinter successfully.
Incredible resilience.
It truly is. It's this whole package is the traps, the digestion, the alliances, the environmental control, the cold tolerance. That's why that X thread calling them total survivors resonates. They really are.
So summing this up, it paints a picture of incredible diversity. Over 150 species, you said earlier. How does nature create such a wide range within just this one group?
It's that classic evolutionary story. Adaptation to specific niches. You've got the huge Nepenthes genus in Southeast Asia, with actually closer to 180 recognized species now.
Even more.
Yeah, the numbers keep growing as we discover more. And they range from giants like Nepenthes raja, catching vertebrates, to climbers like Nepenthes loei, which has pitcher shaped almost like toilets, to collect nutrient-rich droppings from tree shrews that visit it for nectar.
Wait, it collects shrew droppings.
Yes, another amazing adaptation. Then you shift to North America. You have the Sarracenia genus, about 11 species. Sarracenia flava, the yellow pitcher plant. Its bright color attracts 80% more bees, according to one study, than greener varieties, boosting pollination and potentially luring prey.
And didn't you mention one in Australia?
Right, cephalotus. It's completely unrelated evolutionarily, but develops similar pitcher traps. It has these tiny, intricate, cup-like traps, often at ground level, perfectly designed for catching ants, capturing maybe 90% of the ants that venture in.
So similar solutions evolved independently in different parts of the world.
Exactly. Convergent evolution driven by similar environmental pressures, mainly nutrient-poor soils, and they've adapted to everything from steamy tropical rainforests to chilly temperate bogs. A nature study even found that about 70% of species evolved unique trap colors tailored to attract the specific insects most common in their local area.
Tailored colors for local bugs.
Yeah, boosting efficiency. It's why they look so varied and striking. Like that expo said, seeing the range of Nepenthes colors is like art in nature.
It really is. Okay, beyond their own survival, what kind of impact do these plants have on their ecosystems? Are they just fascinating oddities, or do they play a bigger role?
Oh, a much bigger role. They are often considered keystone species, especially in bog environments,
Keystone meaning?
meaning their presence has a disproportionately large effect on the ecosystem relative to their abundance. By controlling insect populations, they reduce competition for other plants. Studies suggest this can increase overall bog biodiversity by as much as 15%.
15% increase in diversity just because they're eating bugs.
Yep. And they're crucial for nutrient cycling. The nutrients they capture eventually return to the ecosystem when the plant dies or parts decompose. They also support unique microbial communities within their pitchers. And in the surrounding soil, some research shows 50% more bacterial activity near pitcher plants.
So they're influencing things above and below ground.
Absolutely. In North American bogs, Sarracenia are incredibly important. They form the base of specialized food webs, supporting maybe 20% of the local invertebrate community that lives in or around their pitchers.
That's significant. But are these important plants and their habitats safe?
Unfortunately, no. That's the worrying part. Habitat loss is a major threat. Estimates suggest around 30% of pitcher plant habitats have been lost or degraded just since the year 2000 due to drainage, development, and pollution.
30% in just over 2 decades. That's alarming.
It is. And because they're keystone species, losing them has ripple effects through the whole bog ecosystem. Thankfully, there are conservation efforts underway. Groups like the Plant Conservation Alliance are working to restore thousands of acres of bog habitat.
That's good to hear.
It is. But the pressure is still immense. That expo saying, save pitcher plants, save bogs, really hits the nail on the head. Their fates are intertwined.
Thinking about all this ingenuity, what can we learn from pitcher plants that might apply beyond just appreciating nature? Does their design inspire anything in our world?
Absolutely. They're a fantastic source of inspiration for biomimicry, learning from nature to solve human problems.
Like what?
Well, the super slippery surfaces inside Nepenthes pitchers, for example. Scientists have studied those microstructures to develop new materials that repel water, oils, and even bacteria.
I like self-cleaning surfaces.
Exactly. Or low-friction coatings for medical devices or industrial applications. A nature materials study suggested that principles learned from pitcher plants are influencing maybe 10% of new research into these kinds of functional materials.
Wow, so studying them has practical applications.
Definitely. And beyond material science, there's a growing recognition of the economic value of conserving these ecosystems. Protecting bogs, with pitcher plants as flagship species, provides vital ecosystem services, water filtration, carbon storage. Some analyses suggest conserving these habitats could save hundreds of millions in lost services by 2030.
That's a powerful argument for conservation.
It is. And what's really encouraging is seeing the interest from young people. Google Trends data indicates a big chunk, maybe 40%, of the global interest in carnivorous plants comes from younger demographics. They're fascinated.
That's great, getting the next generation engaged.
Exactly. It fuels environmental awareness. There was even that recent push online sparked by an ex-post calling for more school programs focused on pitcher plants and their ecosystems. It gained quite a bit of traction, showing their potential to really engage and educate.
What an incredible journey we've taken through the world of pitcher plants today. We've seen them as these botanical marvels, really defying the odds in nutrient-poor bogs.
True survivors.
Totally. With their amazing carnivorous traps breaking down, 95% of prey, and those surprising partnerships with insects giving them a 15% nutrient boost sometimes.
The symbioses are fascinating.
And the sheer variety, over 150, maybe even 180 species now. From Nepenthes lures to Sarracenia's one-way hairs, plus their huge ecological role, boosting biodiversity by 15%. It really backs up that sentiment. Pitcher plants are nature's ultimate survivors.
They absolutely are, and I think digging into their world really deepens our appreciation for just how ingenious nature can be and how interconnected everything is. Their story underscores why conservation and education are so vital, not just for them, but for the health of the unique worlds they create.
A really profound thought to end on. It reminds us there's so much complexity and wonder right under our noses if we just look.
Well said.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. Don't forget, you can find more amazing insights over at mindexpansiondaily.com.
Definitely worth a visit.
Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. It means a lot. And hey, if you really got something out of our chat today, maybe buy us that coffee. The link's in the description.
Cheers to that.
And remember our challenge. Drop a comment. What's your favorite plant? Did you agree with our take? And crucially, where are you listening from? Help us grow our global reach.
We love hearing from you all.
We'll be back soon exploring more carnivorous plants in our next deep dive. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Considering the delicate balance pitcher plants represent, what other overlooked species might be silently shaping our world in profound ways? And what might we lose if we fail to pay attention? Thanks for tuning in.